Alone, it's a word that carries weight, doesn't it? It echoes in the silence of an empty room. Linga creeps when your lint creeps in, when you're left with nothing but your own reflection. Being alone has a way of testing you, stripping away the noise, the distractions, the false comforts. It leaves you standing face to face with the only person who truly determines the course of your life, yourself. And that realization is heavy, it's raw, it's terrifying. But let me tell you something, that moment when you're surrounded by nothing but quiet, no one to lean on, no one to blame, no one to save you, that's not your break-in point. That's your turning point. Because when there's no one left to lift you, you learn to lift yourself. When there's no applause, no approval, you finally uncover what you're truly made of. Being alone doesn't mean being weak. It doesn't mean being defeated. It means you've been handed a blank canvas to redefine who you are and what you're capable. You see, strength doesn't come from the crowd. It's not something that's handed to you by others. It's forged in the fires of solitude, where the world goes quiet, and all you're left with is the grit in your soul and the dreams that refuse to die. That's where true power lives, not in the company of others, but in the resilience you build when no one is watching. Most people fear solitude because it forces them to confront themselves. It brings up the doubts they've been hiding, the insecurities they've been masking, and the dreams they've buried because someone told them they weren't good enough. But here's the secret. When you embrace being alone, when you stop running from that silence, you discover that it's not silence at all. It's a conversation with your deepest self, the one that's been waiting for you to listen. In that stillness, you start to hear the whispers of your own strength, the fire inside you that no one can extinguish but you. Every obstacle, every setback, every betrayal you've endured has been shaping you, sharpening you, preparing you for the battles ahead. And let me tell you something, the battles are coming. Life doesn't go easy on anyone, but when you've stood alone, faced the darkness, and fought with nothing but your own willpower, there's nothing in this world that can break you. People often think strength is about muscles, bravado, or standing tall in front of others. But real strength, it's quiet. It's the courage to keep going when there's no cheering crowd, no helping hand, no safety net. It's the decision to show up for your own life even when no one else seems to care. That's what it means to be strong. That's what it means to be unshakable. Being alone is also where you find clarity. Without the noise of opinions and the weight of other people's expectations, you finally get to ask yourself, what do I really want? Who do I really want to be? And the answers that come from that place aren't tainted by fear, approval, or obligation. They're yours. Pure, unfiltered truth about who you are and who you're meant to become. But here's the catch. Once you find that truth, you have to act on it. No one's coming to save you. No one's going to pull you out of bed, chase your dreams for you, or fight your battles. It's on you. And that's the most liberating, empowering realization you can ever have. Because if it's on you, that means you hold the power. It means the outcome is in your hands. It means you get to write the ending to your own story. You don't waste that power. Don't let fear paralyze you. Don't let loneliness convince you that you're not enough. Because being alone isn't a punishment, it's a gift. It's a chance to rebuild yourself from the ground up, to strip away the parts of you that no longer serve you, and to emerge stronger, wiser, and more unstoppable than ever. Some people won't understand your journey. They'll see you walking alone and assume you're lost. Let them think that. They don't know the battles you fought in silence. They don't know the nights you stayed up wrestling with doubts, fighting for your future. They don't know the strength it takes to stand tall when everything inside you wants to crumble. Let them misunderstand. Because your strength isn't for them, it's for you. And one day they'll see it. When you built a life you're proud of, when you've reached heights you never thought possible, when you're standing in the light of your own success, they'll understand. They'll realize your solitude wasn't your weakness, it was your training ground. It's where you became the person who could conquer anything. Solitude isn't a void, it's a forge. It's where you discover your resilience, build your courage, and develop the focus that only comes when there's no one else to lean on. It's not about surviving, it's about thriving, it's about becoming unstoppable. The world will try to convince you that you need others to feel whole. But wholeness doesn't come from others, it comes from within. It comes from the discipline to hold yourself accountable and the courage to walk your path, even if it feels like you're the only one on it. Look at the lives of the greats. They didn't succeed by following the crowd. They stood apart. They spent the hours, the days, the years in solitude mastering their craft, honing their skills and building their dreams. They didn't wait for validation. They gave themselves permission to succeed. And so must you. When you walk alone, the path may feel quiet, but it's clearer. There's no one to distract you, no one to pull you off course. It's just you and your vision. In that stillness, you'll find focus, determination, and the grit to keep going even when the journey gets tough. The road to greatness is often lonely. But that's because not everyone is willing to do the hard work, make the sacrifices, or endure the solitude required to reach the top. Most people settle for comfort over greatness, but not you. You're different. You're not afraid of the hard work. You're not afraid of the challenges. And you're not afraid of walking alone because you know it's the price of success. And in that strength, you'll find something even more profound: freedom. Freedom from the expectations of others. Freedom from the need for validation. Freedom from the weight of trying to fit into a mold that was never meant for you. When you learn to stand alone, you realize that you are enough as you are. And that realization is one of the most powerful things you can possess. Freedom allows you to move differently, think differently, and act differently. You stop making choices out of fear of judgment and start making decisions that align with your purpose. You stop chasing approval and start chasing excellence. And you stop waiting for the perfect conditions or the perfect people to come along to make your dreams a reality. You take charge of your life, knowing full well that you have everything you need to succeed already within you. But let me be real with you, this journey isn't for the faint of heart. When you choose to walk alone, you'll face moments of doubt, moments when the road feels too hard or the mountain too steep. You'll feel the weight of every decision because there's no one else to share it with. But those moments, they're the ones that build your character. They're the moments that separate those who merely dream from those who achieve. It's in those moments that you dig deeper. You find reserves of strength you didn't know you had. You push forward, not because it's easy, but because you know what's waiting for you on the other side is worth it. And every step you take in solitude becomes a step toward greatness. Understand this: walking alone doesn't mean you're truly alone forever. Along the way, the right people will notice your strength. They'll see your dedication, your vision, and your resilience, and they'll be drawn to it. But these people won't be like the ones you've left behind. They won't need you to fit into their expectations. They'll respect your path and support your goals because they'll see the greatness you've been building in the quiet. But here's the thing: you don't wait for them. You don't stop moving forward because you're hoping someone will join you. You keep going, knowing that the strength you built in solitude will guide you. The people who are meant to walk beside you will find you on the path, not before. And when they do, you'll be ready. You'll be strong enough to stand on your own, wise enough to value their presence, and resilient enough to know that your worth isn't defined by who walks with you, but by the person you've become. So don't fear the solitude. Don't resent it. Lean into it. Use it to sharpen your mind, strengthen your heart, and refine your purpose. Let it teach you to trust yourself, to rely on your own abilities, and to believe in the power you hold. Because when you finally reach your goals, you'll look back and realize that the journey was never about proving anyone else wrong. It was about proving it to yourself that you were capable all along. And in that moment, when you stand at the peak of your own mountain, you'll know that every step of the way, every challenge, every setback, every victory was worth it. You'll know that being alone wasn't a curse. It was the crucible that forged you into the person you were always meant to be. Don't let the fear of being alone hold you back. Stand tall, walk boldly, embrace the solitude. And when the world finally sees what you've built, They won't see someone who stood alone. They'll see someone who stood strong. So keep walking, keep climbing, keep building. Alone, yes, but never weak. Alone, yes, but never defeated. Because you're not just alone. You're strong. You're resilient. You're unstoppable.